Well, top of the morning to you too. That was a bad version. That was a bad thing. So it is currently 7:45 in the morning. Uh, I got home. I got back to my dorm last night at like 11:30, and I did not start watching this game until midnight. And I considered doing I considered watching the entire game from start to finish last night, and then doing into the den immediately afterwards. But I realized that was a bad idea I swear to God I was watching the game, and then I blink and we get from like 5 minutes left in the second period to 11 minutes left in the third. So yeah, the first half of the game is I watched before bed, and then I watched the rest afterwards. And by afterwards, I mean this morning. Anyway, Bruins fans, it is time to hug it out. I apologize for the low energy. Last night I went to a queer punk show in Cambridge. It was probably one of the most fun nights I've ever had. It had a lot of moshing, a lot of gay people. It was fun. And but yeah, Bruins win 4-3 in the shootout against the Carolina Hurricanes. Believe it or not, this is the first game decided by shootout in the new year. The last game that they had decided by a shootout was a 3-2 loss against Ottawa on December 27th. I feel like we've all had our fair share of complaining about the shootout. It's not good. I honestly think that they need to bring back ties and make overtime 10 at the very least 10 minutes. It's just make wins worth 3, ties worth 2, overtime losses worth 1, regulation losses worth 0. I don't know. That's just a suggestion. Anyway, Carolina, the second-ranked team in the entire NHL, behind only the Boston Bruins. So last night was a very, very chippy matchup. Not only is it number 1 versus number 2, it's also Hartford Whaler night. They were quite possibly the best, one of the best jerseys ever created. Not just in NHL history, but in sports history. The Hartford Whaler jersey is, c'est magnifique. And also, since the Bruins last with their win against the Tampa Bay Lightning clinch the top seed in the entire in the Atlantic Division, they're starting to do some load management. We got especially for the bigger guys. We got Bergeron, Marchand, and Lindholm all sitting this one out. They're still in Boston. Excuse me. And we end up getting Lauko and Zaboral in. And for the first time all season, Oscar Steen gets the call up. He is on the second line he is on the second line alongside DeBrusk, Zacha, and himself. Well, I am so happy for Oscar Steen. He deserves this. Not to mention, AJ Greer is coming off of his 1-game suspension, and again, you can again, what he did on the ice wasn't great, but considering who it was against, I'm not really complaining all that much. Anyway, puck drops. Like, comment, subscribe. And yeah, puck drops, and surprisingly, the Bruins actually start the game on time. And they, Pasta and Bertuzzi end up getting a really good breakaway early on, but it doesn't go anywhere. Freddie Anderson is square to it. He has history with the Bruins. He has history against the Bruins. That's all I'm gonna say. But shortly after this breakaway, we end up seeing history. For the first time since Cam Neely, the first time in his entire lifetime, Bruins finally have a 50 goal scorer. David Pastrnak, with a breakaway pass from I think it was Charlie McAvoy. He sort of what you would expect from him there is the pump fake, and it looks like Freddie Anderson expects it. He's a little bit elevated, and he leaves the 5-hole wide open for Pasta to just this like slight pump fake, and but it's more just pushing the puck into between his legs, and that is not only the Pasternak's 50th goal for the first time this franchise has had since Cam Neely, but also Pasternak's 600th point. You're gonna need some extra tape for that, my guy. A little bit later, the Bruins end up. A little bit later, the Bruins are still in control of the game. After the Canes spent a little bit of time in the Bruins zone, Jacob Blackwell ends up clearing it, and it just like meanders to like the Bruins side of the neutral zone, and like everybody whiffs on it. Lauko misses on it. A few Hurricanes miss on it. It just sits there at that point in the ice for like a solid 2 to 3 seconds with everybody missing it. It's always fun when people whiff in professional sports. A little bit later off the face-off, the Hurricanes end up finding the puck, and they put it on net almost immediately. Except, although it goes in, it does not get called a goal because the way it goes in is it is high, and Stefan Nason bats it out of the air with the puck with his stick, which yeah, that's not getting called a goal, but like even still, I think we all know that like that's just kind of fucking like that kind of hand-eye coordination is just like, ooh boy, that's fun. It's like a paddle save Emporium save, except it's a goal that won't get counted. The coin that won't get tossed, as Jack Edwards likes to say. But also, can we just say, Jeremy Swayman is a national treasure. Jeremy Swayman is just the boy from Anchorage. Absolutely freaking bricking the hell up in net tonight. Sure he gave up 3 goals, but still, he absolutely made every single save that he needed to. Otherwise, and like in stuff like this, where he makes an insane save, and the entire defense, since the puck is still in play, the entire defense comes back to help him, including I think like Zaboral and Clifton were like the main 2 guys who did this. Which, by the way, Jacob Zaboral is having a really good stretch of games. I think that honestly, Zaboral is proving why he deserves a spot on this lineup. Like, I know hockey stat cards put Clifton and Zaboral near the bottom. I'm too lazy to put hockey stat cards up. It's 8 in the morning. And, uh, I know they put them near the bottom, but even still, this is they played pretty good, I think. And actually thinking about it, and looking at my notes, this it wasn't it wasn't the two of them, because McAvoy was one of the players in there. It was because almost immediately after that resolves, McAvoy just after who is it after freaking. God no, why am I blanking on his name? Jordan Martinook just levels. I think it's Orlov. Shows how freaking fakakta my brain is. After Orlov just completely beats the hell out of after Orlov just gets it's his shit rocked by Jordan Martinook. McAvoy comes back and takes Martinook to the ground. While on the other side of the ice, Bertuzzi and Krejci is feeding Bertuzzi for a goal that ends up getting called back because McAvoy is taking Martinook to the ground, and this causes Jack Edwards to lose his shit in a way that I haven't seen in a while, because the goal ends up getting called back and McAvoy ends up on the in the box, and Jack Edwards is laughing his ass off, and you can hear him hitting the desk and clapping sarcastically. It was fantastic, but top ranked power play in the league. Top ranked penalty kill in the league versus the 18th ranked power play in the league, and this was one of the best penalty kills I've seen in a while, where we actually give up a shot, not give up a shot that goes in, but like where we actually give up a shot on goal. Like DeBrusque ends up getting a shorthanded breakaway, and Anderson stops it, but the Bruins kill this one easily. But those aren't the only penalties that get taken. And we also get Sebastian Aho going for slashing. And then like 30 seconds later, Charlie McAvoy goes for the softest freaking interference call I have ever seen to give us a minute 25 of 4-on-4. And how was this interference? He just lightly bumps someone and doesn't even like put his hands out. That's it. That is it. Both penalties end up dying, but oh my god, the fact that Charlie McAvoy had had all 4 penalty minutes for the Bruins this game is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. And usually when a player gets multiple penalties in a game, that's not really. You tend to think less of that player. I especially did after the last game against Tampa, wherein Tanner Jeannot went for like 3 different minor penalties. But friggin' McAvoy, how is that even interference? Anyway, we go into the second period. Bruins look like they're controlling the second period again until Tomas Nosek loses the stick and Jalen Chatfield passes to the far post for Jack Drury to get his second goal of the season on a tap in, and that ties the game at 1. Typical Bruins second period was, but hold your horses, partner. We're not there yet. Anyway, Teuvo Teravainen, who honestly is having one of the more disappointing seasons I've seen so far. Like, if you had told me that Teuvo Teravainen would be starting on the 3rd line in earlier this season, I would have called you absolutely batshit fucking stupid. now it's a wonder as to why he's even in the lineup. But he ends up going for slashing, and Rod Brindamore is just shouting himself hoarse to the rest about how that's slashing. And I got one thing to say to you, Rod. If you think that's not slashing, then where were you when McAvoy got called for interference there? I didn't see Monty freaking losing his shit at that. Look, I will always say that John Cooper is the coach that bitches over everything the most. Like, I will always say that John Cooper can watch Nikita Kucherov assassinate someone on live television and still complain about the fact that he's getting a major penalty for it. But Rod Brindamore isn't that far behind. Now, this one I will show because it is quite possibly it is a really funny post-game quote. Brindamore was still pissed about this slashing call even after the game. Well, was it a penalty? It was a penalty call at least. Okay, I mean, let's just be honest about it. It's not a penalty. That's the frustrating part. Yeah, you got to kill it. I get it, but you're handling a pretty good player. He's going to get his opportunity. It's hard when you feel like you're just tossing them a goal. But you do have to kill it. I get it. Speaking of which, Bruins actually scored on the power play. That's rare. Zaka ends up getting fed from the bumper, fed to the bumper. He passes it to Pasternak, who's in his spot, and he just shorts up, and he just threads the needle right past Anderson and to put the game up 2-1. And a little bit later, we end up getting a fantastic play from Jacob Lauko. He ends up breaking into the offensive zone with Shane Gostisbehere right in front of him. He pivots it's back, and he just completely loses his Gostisbehere. Turns Ghost into a ghost. And just fires it on net. 3-1 Bruins. Oh, man. That was fantastic. That's about the same energy for the rest of the second period. The Bruins are bullying the Canes in their own zone. And then we get to the third period. Oh boy. You know what I was talking about? Vintage second period Bruins. Yeah, vintage second period Bruins didn't decide to show up until the third period this time. The Bruins end up giving up 2 goals in the first 5 minutes. It's because they keep getting caved in their own zone, and honestly, more than anything, this showed how much Hampus Lindholm is a valuable part of this team, because with him, none of those goals go in. None of those goals go in because Lindholm is out there to actually clear the freaking puck. That is an underrated part of Hampus Lindholm's game. And it's why the Norris should go to the best defenseman, not just the defenseman with the most points. Because if you give it to the best defenseman, Hampus Lindholm has absolutely been one of the most valuable parts of this Bruins roster, and nothing shows that more. Yes, he was on a scoring tear earlier this season, but nothing shows how good he has been more than his ability to clear the puck on passes. He has been fantastic like that. In the third period, we end up getting something really scary. Jacob Lauko on a board hit against Jalen Chatfield. His body pretty much his entire body buckles, and he gets sent into the boards, and he is not moving for a good minute or two. He ends up limping off, and it seemed like a lower body injury, but I think someone on Twitter who works with the Bruins has confirmed that it was an upper body injury and that he's fine. So here's to hoping you feel better, Jacob. In the Ford F-150 Final Five, neither team ends up really capitalizing on anything. It's a really fun and lively Final Five, but neither team ends up capitalizing, and we go to overtime. And they keep that same energy in overtime. It is lively. It is fast paced. Neither team can capitalize. It is the closest we get is Pasternak and I think Krejci getting a really good opportunity in front of the net, and it just gets completely stymied by the fact that that Freddie Anderson's helmet comes off. And as soon as I saw that, the first thing that came to mind is, goddamn, Darcy Kemper's got to be punching air right now. You want to talk about imminent scoring threat? That right there is imminent scoring threat. Do not call the whistle right there, buddy. If you're not gonna blow the whistle against Kemper, you gotta let this one play out. Anyway, neither team can capitalize, so we go to the shootout. Brent Burns and Teuvo Teravainen do not at all try to make a move on Swayman. And Swayman plays is near the top of the crease, and it works out really well. He cuts off pretty much everything that they try to do, and Carolina ends up going scoreless in the shootout. Meanwhile, Coyle and DeBrusk end up putting this one away. Neither of them really try to do anything fancy. It's just really accurate shooting and shooting a little bit early to catch Anderson off guard. And that gives us 57 wins on the season. And not only that, that ends up being our 27th road win of the season and setting a new franchise record. What a team. 99 seasons in, and this might be one of the best seasons in Boston Bruins history. Anyway, even though I just got a good amount of sleep, I'm gonna go back to bed. Thank you all so much for watching this morning's Into the Den, and I will be back tomorrow with the coverage of the game against the Predators. I got 5 days until I turn 21. That's insane. Anyway, guys, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care.